Hello everybody. In this video we're going to talk about using prepositions for time. We use prepositions such as here at, in, and on to talk about time. So time can be a clock time. So clock time means just what I see on my watch. So so it can be 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 8:15, 7:45. So remember, in order to tell time, you have to first state the hour and then the minutes. So 7:45. So 7 is the hour, 45 are the minutes. 45 is the minute. Sorry. If there are no minutes, then it can be, for example, 7. It's just 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. Another time can be a day. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, Saturday. Finally, it can also be part of the day: morning, afternoon, and evening. So these propositions are necessary when we want to talk about time. So are they different? And then how do we use them? So let's first talk about the differences. So as I said before, we have three propositions of time. So first, at. At is used for a definite time. So anything to do with clock time, we want to use at. We want to use at as your proposition. So 9 o'clock. So at 9 o'clock. We say at 8 o'clock. At 6:32. 6:32. Now, for in is for months, parts of the day, and parts of the day. In order to think about this easier, you want to use proposition in when it takes a long period of time, something long. So when I talked about at, and I said definite time, is very, very, very specific, like 9 o'clock, But when you compare it to in, you see, we're talking about month compared to that time to month is a big difference. So in April for months, and for parts of the day, in morning, and as I said before, in morning, in afternoon, in the evening. And finally, when I said something with long periods of time, a summer is a good example. So in summer, in winter, in fall, in spring. So in would be the proposition of time for something that takes a long periods of time, in a way. Now there's on. on is used for days and dates. So it's between the at and in. So this is very, very specific. This is kind of broad, and this is in the middle, somewhere in the middle. So here, it talks about the date within a month. So 7th of April. 7th of April. So you say on 7th of April. And my birthday. On my birthday. On Christmas. Christmas is also kind of specific, but it's just a day. December 25th. And on weekend. Weekend is included in days. So it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So there are 3 days in the weekend. So we have so propositions of time would be at, in, and on. Oh, I forgot to say one more thing. One more thing is I told you about in, the proposition in, and then how it talks about parts of the day. However, the word night, you're not supposed to use in. You're supposed to use at. So you say in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening, but you say at night, not in the night. If you say in the night, the sentence becomes very different. The meaning of the sentence becomes different. So I want you to know this, and then if you want more details, it's on page 74 of Unit 6, Lesson C. Here. It's on the top. And now, let's come up with the questions using the propositions of time. So, let's see how would we use proposition of time in a question and an answer. So question number 1, when do you go to work? When do you go to work? The answer, I go to work at 8 o'clock. I go to work at 8 o'clock. Here, you need to see the subject pronoun is you. Oh, that's bad. You. So when we answer, it'll be I. And since subject pronoun is not a he or she, we use do. Do. So when do you go to work? I. Since this is not a he or she, we just say go. There's no S. You don't have to add an S. So I go to work. I go to work at 8 o'clock. Remember, at is about definite time. So anything with definite time, you have to use at. So 8 o'clock here, so we would be using proposition at. Now, second question. When does... Ooh, I forgot to add this. He. Sorry about that. When does he have... Oh, I forgot again. Oh my goodness. When does he have class? When does he have class? The answer is he has class on Monday. So first, question. When does he? Since the subject pronoun is a he, we have to use does. Does with an es. And when we answer, because it started with a he, we have to say he. We have to start with a he. Has class on Monday. Has class on Monday. There's another thing that I want to mention is that here we have, when we start with the question, it says, when does he have class? But when we answer the question, it says, he has class on Monday. It's a has with an S. Remember, if it's a verb, we would like to, for he or she, for subject pronoun he or she, we would like to have we would like to add an S to a verb. So in this case, the have would turn into has, and this is applies. This is same. This rule is same for she. So if it was, when does she have class? She has a class on Monday. And then here we use on because on is for proposition when we are talking about dates and days. And then and here is Monday. Monday. So we have to use on. I hope that this wasn't that confusing. But as I said before, there's more detail on the student's book on page 74. Now, since we kind of know the rule behind the at, in, on, and we're gonna do some practices with exercise 2 on page 74. Now, let's go over exercise 2A on page 74, unit 6, page 74. Here it says, complete the sentences, use at, in, on, or from, to. The from, to prepositions I did not mention in the beginning, but I will go over that as we do the exercises together. So number 1, we have, I have English class, blah, Tuesday and Thursday. I is a subject pronoun, and then we have Tuesday and Thursday. I have, and then Tuesday and Thursday. And what is the preposition for days and dates? That's on. So we have on. Number 2, my sister usually has class blah Saturday. So if, as I mentioned again, if it's about a day or dates, it's usually I'm sorry. So if it's about days and dates, then it's on. So my sister usually has class on Saturday. And here, my sister goes with has. I did mention that you only use has for he or she, But in this case, my sister is a singular, sister could be replaced with a she. She usually has class on Saturday. My sister usually has class on Saturday. So we are able to use has. Not a have, but has. So number 3, I do homework, blah, night. I do homework, blah, night. For the night, I remember, if you remember, I did say that anything to do with the parts of the day or the month, you have to say in. So in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. However, for night, we use preposition at. At. So at night, because of this. Number 4, my father goes to work, blah, in the morning. So morning is a part of the day, so it will be in. And then here, same thing. My father goes. There's an S, and then I said it could be he, she goes, and then it would be I go. Here we can replace my father with he. He goes to work in the morning. So that's why we have GOES instead of GO. Number 5, he always catches the bus, blah, 8:45. 8:45. He, there's a he, always catches, so verb with an S, the bus, 8:45. So any specific time or definite time, you have to use at. Because there's a time. For number 6, my mom goes to PTA meetings, blah, the evening. PTA stands for Parent Teacher Association. Parent Teacher Association. Yeah, it's on page 74, on the middle of the page. So Parent-Teacher Association is where parents and teachers meet in a group to talk about the school. But anyway, so here, my mom goes to PTA meetings, blah, the evening. So since it's talking about the evening, which is part of the day, is in the evening. Number 7, I usually go on vacation, blah, July. So here, this is a month. So the prepositions of time for a month is in. Number 8, she has class, blah, 9 a.m., blah, 11 a.m. So this is where you use the preposition called from and to. So she has class from from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. You want to use this when you want to talk about a period of time from here to here. From it could be, so here it says 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I have class from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. from, And then another example would be, I have a schedule with a friend from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. So from and to. That's how you would use preposition of time. And we will continue similar exercise, this time with making questions and answer for exercise in exercise 2B. Exercise 2B. Read the answers and complete the questions. Number 1. When blah you blah on vacation? B. I usually go on vacation blah July. So when we look at this is the question and this is the answer. Here we have you as the subject pronoun and I. So this means we don't need to add an S to our verb because it's not a he or she question or he or she subject pronoun. So here, and then when we ask a question, remember we have to use do or does. In this case, because it's not he or she, we use do. We need a verb here, and in order to figure out, we can look at the answer. Here it says I usually go on vacation, so we're able to use this verb here. When do you go on vacation? When do you go on vacation? The answer, I usually go on vacation blah July. July is a month. So the prepositions for month is in. Number 2. When blah your sister blah class? B. She usually has class blah Saturday. So now let's look at it here. Here, our subject pronoun is your sister. Sister. And this could be replaced with a she. So, and the answer here was she. So our we would use does for the question. So does. So when does your sister, here would be, here talking about has. So she usually has class. Has is a verb. So when does your sister, is it a has? No. It's have. We talked about this in previous unit where so when you ask a question, you never use has. You have to use have. H-A-V-E. But when you answer a question, when you have a statement, then you have to use has. When your subject pronoun is a he or she. So here, you're gonna use have. So when does your sister have class? She usually has class on. Because the prepositions for a day or dates is on. Since we don't have much time, we will continue where we left off in the next video, which will continue with prepositions of time. And then for the homework, I want for the on the Ventures1 level 1 workbook, please do page 66 to 69. So please do page 66 to 69. This will be your homework. Thanks for listening, and I will see you next time.